Namaskar Friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, my initial plan was to make a video on like certain factors of matchmaking or looking for the compatibility between the partners, people and all, and present some reference case charts as a case study to you guys. But then I realized that okay, I've not talked much about the factors which you have to pay attention to, and here I'm talking about in 2024 which all are the factors which are actually working or which are actually giving results. So guys, in this video I just thought we can have a summary of all those areas, all those parameters which being an astrologer while doing a matchmaking you have to pay attention to. And afterwards guys, after having our discussion on this like a synopsis on the matchmaking, then we will start getting into the depth of all the factors. Now guys, for all those people, like there is a category of people, like there are like those people who still go by the fact that the traditional Ashtkoot Milan, matching two people's chart on the basis of the 36 points, which you can even do from a software. There are like those astrologers who feel that okay, this actually works even now, it actually gave results, and basis that people's marriage, and they have actually seen result working in people's relationship as well. And they're like those people who completely ridicule it. They say that okay, because of the changing times and changing family dynamics and all, these days just relying completely on that traditional Ashtkoot Milan is not suffice. If you were to ask my opinion on that, I would say that you have to also take into consideration along with some other factors. And guys, that is the only reason why when taking such a major decision in your life, you cannot just rely only on the software matchmaking. Like human intelligence, astrologer's intuition and other factors, the manual factors also needs to be taken into consideration. So yes guys, in this video it's just a summary or synopsis of which all factors you have to give attention to, which actually work or give results. Okay guys, to start with, we will first briefly look at the Ashtkoot Milan, and then I will take you to all those parameters as well. So guys, when we talk about the Ashtkoot Milan, it is done on 8 levels. Like for example, one is the Varna. Now it does not have much of the points allotted to it out of the 36 points, but it is very important because it tells about the spiritual compatibility between two people. After that is the Vashya. It is also very important because it tells about the mutual control and attraction between the couple. After that guys, comes the Tara. Now Tara is also important because somehow it also tells about the health and the well-being of the two people in a relationship. Next comes the Yoni. Now some people say that okay, it is important to match the Yoni between the two people, like which is on the basis of the animal attached to the moon nakshatra of the native. So guys, trust me, not only from the sexual compatibility point of view, but also from the mentality point of view as well, that actually works a lot. After that guys, grametry, like out of all those points which we have covered so far, if I were to put maximum weightage, I will put on the grametry. It is very very important that whatsoever the zodiac lord of the two people, they should be in harmony and compatibility with each other. So after that guys comes the Gana. Now Gana is also very important for the temperament compatibility and all. Like if you will be, like if you're a kind of person who is very calm, who's very peaceful, like trust me, like before I will move to my own place over here in Vancouver, the person with whom I'm like sharing the place and all, I still remember him saying that there was so much peace in my life before you came. Now there is all the time running around, chaos, exploration, going here, going there, so much time spent in cooking, in discussion. So I mean to say, when we talk about the temperament compatibility and all, that is also equally very important. After that guys, Bhakut is very important because somehow people say that the factors of the love, attraction, emotional compatibility we see from this. And the last is the Nadi. See, Nadi is very important because that tells about the genetic compatibility. Again guys, if you will go to the some of the provinces in India, like over there they give so much emphasis on this that like you cannot even get married to the girl who is from your caste, who is from your village as well. So I mean to say, genetic compatibility is very important, and this is also important even when we talk about in the modern cities as well. Like, trust me, I keep on meeting so many people over here. Like, their lineage is so mixed because of intermingling of people from different religion. Like, I mean to say, different lineage and geographical location as well. Like, I still remember my acting coach. He told me that, okay, Nipun, I'm half European from my father's side, and I'm like half like Moroccan from my mother's side, and even their parents also were like this. So somehow in today's modern day and age, Nadi becomes important, and that is the only reason in the whole out of the 36 points, the 8 layers of compatibility, Nadi has given the most importance. Now guys, now when we talk about after that, now which all factors you have to give attention to, I would still say Manglik dosha is not the sole factor for denying or rejecting any kundali or a chart which comes to you for the compatibility matchmaking, but somehow it plays a very important role. Trust me guys, they're like all the planets in the chart, all the 9 planets somehow plays their own role in order to bring someone in your life and keep that person in your life, to maintain or retain that relation. Like Jupiter plays its role, your dharma, righteousness, believing in the virtues, values of the integrity of the institution of marriage. Venus is about love, Mercury is about open communication, Moon is about emotion, emotional compatibility, temperament and all. Everything is important, but the one planet which is important, because if it is not compatible, it will just break the match in a jiffy. That is the planet Mars. It is the most incompatible planet, I would say, or the most sensitive planet, which can create a split in relationship in no time. So all the excessive sexual desire, incompatibility between the sexual desire of two people, whether you talk from this point of view, whether you talk about from the domestic violence, aggression, like, okay, one person just want to stay home indoor, and there's another person who just all the time wants to do the outdoor physical activity. So in all ways, the compatibility between the Mars becomes very important. And again guys, in the traditional astrology, that used to be the case. Like if you go like 100 years back, and even in the countryside when there was no family planning, so if the guy has got very strong Mars, so, and the female is not compatible and her chart is not compatible, she used to die just because of delivering one child after another child, just to match with the sexual temperament of the partner. So because of this, Manglik dosh even today is important. If someone tells you that, okay, Manglik dosha is overrated and all, so trust me, that person might not have complete knowledge or enough research. So because of that guys, I would still say this thing, that the placement of Mangal is not, or placement of Mars is cannot be responsible for causing harm or death to someone. So it's not like that. If in your chart there is a yoga of living a complete life, a proper ayush or a longevity is promised in your chart, and just because you will get married to someone who has got a yoga of that his partner is going to be getting dead because of the marriage, so you will never ever attract that person. We only attract those people in our life who contributes towards the fulfillment of the promise which we have in our chart. If you're destined to get into accident, only that person will collide with you on the highway, on the freeway, who is also going to have a similar yoga. So this is how astrology works. It's a scientific proven principle. Guys, I will give you a very short example what happened. So like being a Aries Lagna, my fourth lord was a part of this lunar eclipse which happened on 17th 18th, couple of days back only, in the 12th house. So definitely somehow I have this hunch, because I'm also in the moon antartasha as well, so somehow I was a lot in the grip from so many ways. So I thought, okay, it's better I do not have much to do on that day. I'm planning to do meditation in the evening during the time of the eclipse hours, but somehow I realized that, okay, let me go to the hospital rather than something happens and because of that I need to go. Let me go and honor the promise, and it's not that far. So I went there, I just sat there, have a coffee in that hospital, and came back just to honor the promise. But still after that, if something meant to happen, so what happened, there was this lady, she booked her reading. It was a basic package. I was just supposed to give her the documented answer to her question. So that, but then later on, she and I did my part. Later on, I did a proper like after the reading and all, I even went little bit extra miles. I did the services of the higher package, gave her all the answer. But after that, she replied that okay, I went 10 years back to this place in Varanasi where the ascendant was something else. Now again, for these kind of queries, it is a like services which requires a lot of work, because I need to match all the events, life events of that person, and I need to match that with the chart. And it needs to be done through a Zoom consultation or through a phone call, a thorough discussion on that. Somehow I did not revert to that. Okay, that was my mistake. I should have reverted to that query. This is not a good customer service at my part, but I was busy, I forgot this jet lag and all. So right at the time when I was like in the hospital only, an hour before only, because I missed that email, I was noticing the timing as well. So she, I don't know, because of the time of the lunar eclipse or what, and how it was responding in her own chart, she put a dispute on the PayPal. And when I was coming back from the hospital, I saw the email that a case has been filed, a dispute has been raised. Now obviously I don't mind refunding the money if the person is not satisfied. I would have done that before that as well, and I did that later on in 1 hour or 2 hours, like okay, the case has been resolved. So yeah, if something is meant to happen, like that happens. And my, in the time of the lunar eclipse, the fourth lord in the 12th house afflicted and all was indicating that. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it's not going to happen that just because someone else is going to enter your life and it is going to completely alter the promise of your life, of your destiny, of your chart. It never happens like that. You will only, and we will only attract those people in our life who contributes towards the promise in our chart. And I always say this thing, guys, that see, astrology is about taking some consciously aware decision. Even having a knowledge of astrology is not going to evade the outcome of your destiny. It's just like that. That's what I guess the great astrologer Ken Rao sir used to say, that astrology is all about expanding the good fortune there in your chart, and even if there is some suffering, going through the suffering gracefully. But if something is meant to happen or a promise, that cannot be completely evaded. You cannot change the law of the nature. There are like those tantrics who attempt to do that, and that is the only reason they face the suffering. Okay guys, now after that you have to give attention to the so we discussed about the Ashtkoot Milan, we discussed about the Manglik dosha. After that becomes the 7th house and the 7th lord. See, this is very important because you have to see what exactly is happening in the 7th house. If you will find that okay, in one person's chart there is a sign of that this person supposed to do and progress a lot in his or her career, and you will bring another chart which is not supporting the destiny of other person. This person's chart is indicating quarrel, bickering, and 24/7 bickering and entanglement with the partner in the marriage. So they might not look that compatible. So what happen is that, see, 7th house tells about the overall environment, look and feel which you will go through in your matrimonial life. This is what the theme of your marital life is going to be. And the 7th lord will tell about that okay, where the arrival of a partner or marriage, where that is taking you, that we get to know. So over there we have to see the harmony and the compatibility. And let's say for example, if a match comes to you in the form of the love marriage, that okay, it hardly matters. Like sometimes what happen is that people have already made up their mind, they're just coming to an astrologer just to get that approval seal, to kind of give this confirmation to their subconsciousness that okay, I did my part. Although it would have hardly matters what the astrologer would have said, they have already made up their mind, they are just coming for a seal of confirmation to an astrologer. So in those kind of cases you can actually give them the guidance that okay, the 7th lord of one person is there in the 6th house, like 12th from it. So what could this indicate? So then this is how you have to do the balancing. So 7th house, 7th lord definitely becomes important. Now guys, after that Navamsa chart becomes very important. You have to see the Navamsa chart because Navamsa chart tells about integrity and the values. Apart from the what exactly is happening deep within the matrimonial life and all, your expectation, your desires, your conduct. But I would say that the integrity, morals and values we generally see from the D9 chart, and that is the only reason, guys, you talk about, like, there have been those cases where just small disease, one partner losing up the job, and the marriage gets dissolved, the marriage did not work out. And there have been those cases, if you go in the smaller cities and all, over where even if one person has fallen into some disability and all, the other person will be, like, without looking at what is the gain and advantage and how the freedom of one person is getting suppressed, because the partner is going to be dependent throughout in the life for that person, in that person. So still the marriage works because the integrity, honesty. Again, guys, when we talk about the matters of the giving honor and respect to someone and having that faith in the institution of the higher values, morals, that all we see from the D9 chart. So in a way, Navamsa chart gives you an insight over there. So whatever is happening in the D9 chart will definitely tell about the integrity, moral values, which is very important. Otherwise, marriage is just like a living as a tenant or just a contract in a job which can be broken. So the integrity, honesty, what exactly the karma you have to deal with in the marriage, you have to encounter that with your partner, we see from the analysis of the D9 chart. Guys, I will again say the same thing, the promise and the path, promise and the path you will get from the ascendant chart only. D9 is the deeper nitty gritty, the deeper reverberating vibration. Now, guys, when we talk about the this is one such thing which K.N. Rao sir used to give a lot of emphasis. Dasha and Antardasha becomes very important. You have to actually see that in the next 5 years or 10 years, I would say, what kind of period these people are heading towards. This could be a case that, okay, you gotten into marriage with one person when this person is the in the time period of a exalted planet, very well placed in the second house, 11th house, 10th house. This person is like a gold mine. Whatsoever this person is touching, that is turning into a gold or doing very good financially, everything is well off. But suddenly, and that also spoiled the habit of that person. But everything in astrology works on the basis of the dasha. Let's say, for example, you got married and just after the 2 years that person got into a very malefic afflicted dasha of planet which is very weak, placed in the 6th house. Now this person might be heading towards bankruptcy and loans and default and all. So that's what matters. That, and if, God forbid, even if one person is heading towards a disaster, how the chart of the another person is supporting it. If the dasha of the other person is very supportive during that period only, the 7th lord of that person is well placed and supporting the marriage and all, then the relationship will work out. But if they both are at the same time heading towards disaster, then there's a least possibility that the relationship or marriage will work out. So yes, dasha and antardasha, at least after the marriage, like for the next 10 years, becomes very important, because generally we believe that, okay, after 2-3 years, if you're gonna have kids, they actually act as a glue to keep the marriage intact, and later on with the passage of time you bond well with each other. Now, guys, after that, definitely karak planets for marriage becomes very important. So you have to look at the, see, Venus is equally important in both the charts. Venus is very important in modern day and age. Here we are not talking about just because people can be together for the sake of society, community, security and all. It hardly matters. I went on this hike in Vancouver recently, St. Mark's hike. So again, I'm not being judgmental, but yeah, there was this girl. Uh, she brought her newborn child. It was an infant. I guess that child was it was few months old. I guess 3 or 4 months old. And yeah, she, again, I'm not judging. I'm just telling. So she brought that newborn infant with her for the hike. So it was a little bit cold as well on the top, and the hike was also, because you know that if it is a hike like of 2 hours on one way, so there could be some rocky stones and all, and anytime you could fall slip or whatever happens. I'm not judging it over there. I'm just letting you know that yes. So it's just like that. People are so driven and have conviction in doing things their own way that you cannot stop them. So the only thing which can make the marriage work in modern day and age is the love, and have that attraction, and have that space for companionship or other person in your life. Otherwise, other factors are not enough to keep the bond of marriage intact. And this is something which I'm talking about, which is equally valid in all the societies, whether you talk about the upscale metro cities, or whether you talk about going in the countryside and all. So everyone is very much aware about their rights, their freedom and all. So times are changing very rapidly compared to the time when these sciences were written. So I mean to say, Venus becomes very important. Unless and until if the love dissolves, there's a very least possibility that the relationship will work out. People are very independent and then are very aware about their rights and all. But traditionally it has been believed that Venus in the chart of a boy, someone who's attracted towards the females, so Venus is important, and Jupiter in the chart of the girl becomes very important. So these two factors have to be there. Now guys, when we talk about see, it's not very rocket science knowing the Gemini, Jyotish and all, but still I would say two factors like Upapada Lagan and the Darakaraka becomes very important. So the thing is, Darakaraka is definitely, you must be knowing about it, it's the planet with the lowest degree. So let's say for example you are just starting up in astrology and all. So all what you have to see is that the planet with the lowest degree, the planet with the lowest degree is the Darakaraka. So you have to see that, okay, which planet is the Darakaraka in your chart, and which planet is Darakaraka in the person you are foreseeing a compatibility. Again guys, when we talk about Darakaraka, look at it in this way, because lot many newcomers get confused, and a lot many times what I have seen is that too much knowledge of astrology sometimes is also does not support you well. What work best is, make 3-4 principles as your pet or your chief tools to use, and do extensive research on them. Because otherwise, see, astrology is a science of combination and negation. If you will kind of gulp everything, or kind of dissolve everything in your mind, it is not going to land you at one line prediction, because again you will be going in your mind with a contradiction only. And trust me guys, I still remember a lot many astrologers still believe that even after knowing all these ocean of knowledge, your own instincts and intuition plays a very important role. Omens, Shakun plays a very important role. I still remember someone was telling me in Bharati Vidya Bhavan this incident happened. There was a very senior respectful astrologer. He was there in the staff room where the teacher sat and all, and suddenly one of the lady, she was a like student of one of the course, she came to one of the teacher with this thing that she wanted to ask. She just said this thing that sir, I want to know when my daughter is going to get married. And she was even taking the chart kundali of her daughter towards the sir. Sir looked at her, looked around, and he says, no need to show me kundali, she will get married in 3 months. And after 3 months, that lady, she brought the sweets in the staff room to the teacher that sir, you were right, we got a match and the marriage has been finalized. And everyone was like shocked and surprised that, okay, do you know some tantric siddhiya and magic and all, how can you say that? He says no. The minute she put this question out in front of me, I saw a newly wedded girl wearing a like a in Indians amongst the Hindus and all, she was having sindoor and a chuda which the newlywed wears. And the minute she asked this question, there was this lady, she was going from the background. So I just caught that shakun. So that's what I'm trying to say, that okay, now coming back to the topic, when we talk about the Darakaraka or the Upapada Lagan, so do not get mistaken with the 7th lord. The thing is, planets on the basis of the degree, the Darakaraka just tells about that, okay, this planet was least worked or developed in the past many lifetimes, and this is something over where the partnership or through the mutual union you will survive, or you will flourish, or you will thrive. So this is how you can see the Darakaraka, and that also tells about the deeper qualities which your soul is craving for in the partner. I see Darakaraka more from the point of view of the qualities. If it is Venus, quality of love, compassion, attraction, physical compatibility with the partner. Saturn, you might not say this thing, but deep inside you want someone to be a provider, with good in career. With Jupiter, strong morals, ethics. So Darakaraka becomes very important. Upapada Lagan, definitely second house from the Upapada Lagan. For those who do not know much about it, it's very simple. um, Wheresoever in your main natal astrological chart the 12th lord is placed, you have to go that many places. So wheresoever you will reach that house, that is going to be acting as the Upapada Rashi or the Lagan, and the second house from that will become very important. The kind of yogas you have, like if you have benefic planets second from the Upapada Lagan, exalted planets, it is generally considered as very good. And yes guys, so this is what it is. And after this, definitely you have to give attention to the special yogas which a person is going to have in the chart. And lastly I would say, okay, you cannot blend everything, you cannot blend palmistry and everything, but from the numerology what I've seen is that at least the basic knowledge of the date of birth and the life path becomes very important. The way when I was in India, I enrolled for a numerology course just to make friends and socialize with the like-minded occult loving people and all. And definitely I learned new tricks as well. There's always something which you will gain when you go to any learning platform and all. So see, your date of birth in itself is very important because that tells about your personality, your likings, your likes and dislike. And if you make a sum total of the complete date of birth, which is called as the life path, that tells about the destined part. And what I learned from my teacher over there at Bharti Vidyabhavan was that, okay, for two people to have compatibility between just the date of birth, will tell about that, okay, there will be attraction. But for their life to be in harmony with each other, okay, you got attracted towards someone. Let's say for example, I got attracted towards someone when I was in India, when I was in Delhi. But again, my destiny again brought me back to Canada, Vancouver. For a relationship to flourish and thrive, not just the attraction is not suffice. Your mutual destined life path has to be in sync with each other as well. So yes guys, these are certain factors which you have to give attention to. And I guess how much the video has already gone to 27 minutes, and this was not a part of the plan. I just wanted to make a synopsis video for just 5-10 minutes. So yes guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you have any queries, if you have your own certain hacks, I would say tools which you use while working on the compatibility matchmaking between two people, please feel free to share it and write it in the comment section, when I will be going on all the verticals of the matchmaking one by one. I can put that out in the discussion as well. So once again guys, thanks a lot for watching this video, and for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyawad.